The Crew 2 has just been announced. I've literally just seen this on my timeline, and there's a few things which have been announced, such as a logo and a few little taglines and details about the game itself. I wasn't expecting this. I haven't had time to digest this news. I've literally just seen it, and I want to get my initial impressions on camera so you guys can see it as well. Now, the actual link to the source will be down in the description, so if you want to go read what I've just seen, you can go ahead and do that in the description down below. But this was actually released on the Crew forums by the Ubisoft community manager, and he released this logo. It just says The Crew 2, and the tagline for the game is Beyond the Road, which makes me think that the next Crew game is maybe gonna include some type of maybe like boat travel or like aeroplanes or something across those lines. That's what I initially think when they say this. That's all that we know. All that we know is there's a logo, and the catchphrase or like the tagline for the game is going to be Beyond the Road. Now, I want to talk about this for a bit, because obviously there's much more to talk about than just the fact they have a logo and a tagline, because that logo and tagline, they say a lot. And in addition to all of that, it's actually going to come out within the same fiscal year that Need for Speed 2017 is going to be coming out. So that basically means that The Crew 2 can be coming out from any time from the 31st of March 2018 to current day. So that means it's basically possible we could see a Crew game within the next, well, we will be seeing a Crew game within the next year. My guess, you want my guess, I think they're probably going to do some E3 reveals, you know, talk about the game at E3, maybe a few betas leading up to the game's release, and I reckon in November the game is going to come out, maybe December, because I think the last Crew came out in December. That's how I think they're going to do it. I think they're probably going to have a few betas leading up to it, because that's how they usually do things, and then obviously the game will be coming out this holiday season. At least that's what I think. It could be possible they could release it in March and, you know, in April time and that kind of stuff, just to avoid the Need for Speed sales and possibly Forza and Gran Turismo sales. But I do think it's possible the game would most likely come out in December. The good thing about this as well is that the actual Ubisoft investor call where this was announced in, and they actually said the Crew delivered the same level of profitability as it did in its second year than it did in its first. So that means the Crew is still like a money-making source for Ubisoft, and that's good. That means that the Crew is here to stay, and obviously that's what's resulted in the next Crew game. I'm really excited. You know, there's a lot of things we could talk about with this. Is, you know, where's the Crew game going to be based? Because obviously they can't really do US again, or maybe they could reuse the assets. But you know, that's a whole talking point and a whole discussion point. Is where's the next game going to be set? What are they going to do with the story mode? Are they going to keep the same characters? What are they going to do with the whole, you know, MMORPG-esque element of the game? There's so many things and so many elements that could go into the next game. I'm really excited, just purely based on the fact there is so many possibilities with the next game. And it also adds to the whole bunch and whole list of racing games which are coming out this year. We've got Need for Speed, we've got now The Crew 2, the Burnout spiritual successor, Gran Turismo, Forza, Dirt, and that's just ones off the top of my head. I'm sure there's more that are being announced, but The Crew 2 can now go on this list of racing games that we know are coming out very, very soon. If you were to ask me where I'd like the next Crew game to be based, I don't think they're gonna do a huge continent like before. I don't think it makes sense to do that, or country I should say, not continent. I don't think they're gonna do that again. They might do a country, but I don't think it's going to be on the scale as the US. If it is, I'll be very, very surprised, and I just hope it's not as bland as the last one was. My main issue with the last Crew game was that a lot of the cities felt samey. I saw a lot of reused textures everywhere, so it didn't really make anywhere feel unique. I just hope in the next one, whatever they do with the map, it feels different wherever you go. It could be anywhere. It literally could be anywhere. It could be Australia, Japan, UK, you know, Sweden. It could be absolutely anywhere. And that's the interesting thing about the Crew. It's gonna have to be somewhere where they have water or dash like air areas, but I guess everywhere has air, so that's a bit of a shit analogy, really. It's also going to be interesting to see what they do with the whole fact of this game being beyond the road. I'm looking really interested in that. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say the last Crew game didn't have issues, because it definitely did. But if you were like me, I played the Crew pretty much all the way through its life cycle, everywhere from all of the starting betas to the Wild Run expansion to Calling All Units, and it did definitely have issues. Calling All Units wasn't as strong as it could be. Right at the start of the game, there was just a lot of issues with the PvP and the way that the game would work, you know, with its always online features, because obviously it is an MMORPG, but the way that game progressed from the starting game to like current day is mad. If you did play the Crew originally, you'll know that how the game looked was completely different. The cars they've added, you know, everything, it's on a completely different level now. And if you have been following the Crew as long as I have, you'll know that it really is a different game. Racing games this year, man. Racing games this year. I'm looking so forward to games that are going to be coming out this year. Not even just racing games, games generally. This is going to be a game-changing year for racing games. The amount of new and fresh content which is going to be brought to us in new games is ridiculous. You know, obviously all the games I've mentioned before, that only is the tip of the iceberg. You know, I don't know how I'm going to make time to play all these games. The Crew in Need for Speed, definitely at the top of my list. I don't know how on earth I'm going to manage to fit time to play both. It's madness. It's madness. So many games have been announced this year, and I just can't wait to play them. Why can't it be in November time already? My wallet is going to suffer. I'm not going to have any money left. I haven't really got much else to say about the Crew, which I haven't already said. I think there's a few things here and there which I would like to see added, but I think I might make more individual videos on that. But to say that this isn't what the Crew needed is just a long shot. I think the Crew needed a fresh start. It really did. And you know, the fact it's going to get a fresh start with this new IP, it's going to do the series leaps and bounds. It really is. It's going to add so much for the series. It's going to help them so much. I think this was possibly the best move that Ubisoft and Ivory Tower could have done. And for me personally, Ivory Tower are one of my favourite developers. They are one of the very few developers out there who actually listen to consumers and fans, and that can be seen directly into the DLC which is being put out. Everything, the cars that have been put in the game. You know, obviously at the start of the game when the Crew 1 came out, there was a lack of Japanese cars, and they just focused on adding Japanese cars over time. You know, the BRZ with the STI concept kit was in the game. Madness. It is really madness to me that this was even announced. But I don't want to ramble any longer. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like and subscribe. Like I said, the source will be down in the description, so if you want to go ahead and read it, you can down there. But that's been it from me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe and peace.